Y'all, you know I love me some Lion Brand yarn, but there are a few that I just do not like. I'm going to tell you all about them here in just a minute. Hey everybody, I am Melanie from Hook to the Left, and thanks so much for joining me here today. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any comments about it, then go ahead and go down below and leave you a little mark. I really appreciate it, and I would love to join in the conversation. Also, if you're returning, well, thank you. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much, if not more, than you did the last one, and I appreciate you coming back for more. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about my biggest secret. Okay, maybe it's not my biggest secret. I got other big secrets, but I am just, true story time. There are a few Lion Brand yarns that I just do not like, and a lot of people love them. A lot of people love them. So I'm going to tell you about my top 3 yarns that I do not like. Number 3, Landscapes yarn. I am not a fan of creating projects with this particular yarn. I will say that it loses some of my reason for disliking it after it's been washed, but the fact of the matter is I do not like this particular yarn making something with it. And Red Heart has their Unforgettable yarn, which is relatively comparable to roving yarn, kind of like the Landscape, and it has the beautiful colorways. And I like that so much better. That is an amazing feeling yarn from start to finish. So I will pick that up well before I pick up Landscapes. No matter how much I love those colorways, and I do love those colorways, they have got some beautiful colorways in Landscape and Landscape Fusions. Don't like either one of them. And what it is that rough feeling. I am not a fan. Now this is a 100% acrylic yarn, but it still has that rough feeling as you're, so it just kind of pulls on my dry skin, and I got some dry skin. I use lotion, but I still got dry skin. So it kind of pulls on that, and it makes for a very uncomfortable experience for me. And if I'm going to spend $6.99 a skein, and that's a small skein, that is not a big skein, that is only 147 yards. If I'm going to spend $6.99 a skein for only 147 yards, I'm getting a yarn that is much softer and something that doesn't make me cringe when I use it. Number 2. There are so many of you guys that love this yarn. That love it. I cannot stand it. And in fact, I have a couple skeins of it that I got on sale. And I need to get rid of it because I still don't like it. I tried to like it a second time and a third time, and I still don't like it. So I just need to give those skeins away, right? They're in storage right now, so not giving them away anytime soon because I don't want to go digging in storage for them until I find, maybe if I find them whenever I go digging for a project. But for right now, they're staying in storage. But that yarn is Scarfy. I do not like Scarfy yarn, and I like the colorways not as much as I like the Fusion, not the Landscape. I like those colorways better, and the colorways on the next one better. But I still do love these colorways, but just not a fan. Not a fan at all. And I know that a lot of people really like it, and I'm going to tell you it's the wool. Now, Scarfy yarn is 78% acrylic and 22% wool. And again, it pulls on my hand, it pulls on my skin. And for $12 for 312 yards, I better love it. Because $12 is a lot. Now, granted, most of us, we get stuff on sale, but still, $12 for 312 yards, I better be comfortable from beginning to end with the yarn. So I am not a fan. I'm not a fan. Now, you guys, I'm talking bad about these, but that's because that's just my own personal taste. We all have our own personal taste. If you like things that kind of feel what I'm describing, feel like that, or they don't bother you, or that you like this type of yarn, and you're thinking, hey, I need to get some of that, then go down below. It's all linked down below. So you can go and buy your own, and you can check it out for yourself. You can be like, Melanie, you crazy. But I'm not. I just don't like it. Alright, so let's move on to number 1. Wool Ease yarn. The entire line. Cannot stand it. cannot stand it. Now the Thick and Quick is the one that I've seen that I absolutely adore those colorways, but I also like the Woolies colorways. And they have so many colorways, but the Thick and Quick are the ones that I just adore those colorways. They're absolutely gorgeous. And I've seen projects made with these colorways, and I'm thinking, oh, I wish I could use that colorway, but I every time I get drawn in by the colorway and I touch it and it drags on my skin, oh, I cannot stand it. It is like nails on a chalkboard for me. That is how that feels to me. I hate it so much. I know hate's a strong word, and I really shouldn't hate. I hate the feeling. I don't hate the yarn. I mean, I love yarn, and I love the look of it, and it's just not for me. It really is not for me. And it is because it has wool in it. It's the solids are 80% acrylic. The solids, Heathers, and Twists, so your basic woolies, are 80% acrylic and 20% wool. I feel the wool. I can feel it. And it drags on my dry skin, and it's just uncomfortable for me to play with it. So I don't. But again, I'm going to link that down below, all of the different ones. Well, I'm going to link the regular Woolies and the Woolies Thick and Quick. There's some other kind of sub-lines within the line, but I'm going to link those two down below so you can check them out. You guys, you know what? I don't want to end this on a bad note. So those are my top 3 worst Lion Brand yarns. I cannot stand those. You can tell that there's a trend between the 3. I will never spend another dime on any of those. I just don't like them. I really don't like the feel of them. And I've made something with the Woolies Thick and Quick. I've made a blanket, and it was a very quick blanket. I was able, it's like a lattice type blanket, and I love it, but I don't cover up with it. It is purely decoration at this point, because I can't stand the feel of it. It can't be on anything that I'm going to be on. I just don't like the feel of it. But anyway, I'm not going to leave it on a sour note, because I love Lion Brand, you guys. I love what they're about. I love some of their yarns. I love the Had Not Hate campaign, which I will link that down below as well. But I do love their yarns. And I'm going to tell you a few of them that I absolutely love. I'll link those down below as well, and you can check it out. But now, there is one that I have been using to make my mom's blanket, and I absolutely love it. I have said this in a lot of my lives as I've been making this blanket. I love that the way it's the same. So each cake that you get is light to dark. And so when you're color controlling it, it's easy for you to color control with that this particular line of yarn, and I love that. I love that it has sequins in it, but they're sparced so far apart that that it's not uncomfortable. And it actually, the end product is very soft. I will tell you, it is made of 4 strands of yarn, and those 4, I think it's 3 or 4 little thinner strands of yarn that are twisted together, and they do separate easily. So if you don't like that kind of yarn, then you don't want to consider this yarn. But I personally love it, and I don't mind having the separated strands like that. And I think that's how they get that ombre effect. So that particular yarn is called Sunset Night. It is linked down below. I love it. I will also post a picture here of my mom's blanket that I'm making with it. It's still a work in progress. It is almost done. I only have like just under 2 cakes left to make of it. But yeah, I love that particular brand of yarn. I bought it on sale a couple of times. It is $5.99 for a cake. It is a small cake of yarn. It is 273 yards. So if you want to make a decent sized blanket out of it, you're going to need like 10-12 cakes. So it's best to get this stuff on sale, as it is with all yarn. It's best to get it when it's on sale. I'm just going to say. But it is linked down below if you're interested in checking it out. Another one that's real, it's kind of in that same kind of feel or line, it feels like. It's called the Date Night yarn. Now this is even a smaller skein of yarn. And the Date Night skein, and I'm not looking at it for yardage and stuff, but the Date Night skein is a great yarn to use for things like shawls. Now this has something that looks like a tinsel kind of running through it, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Sometimes yarns with those tinsels running through it, you can feel that tinsel, so it becomes uncomfortable, especially as you start to work with it. It doesn't have that feel. But it would make a wonderful, wonderful scarf or shawl. I don't know about a blanket. It's up to you. I never say never, right? But it is a little bit of they've packaged it with the intention of it to be something like a shawl or something a little bit smaller than a blanket. Now the next favorite that I have, and I'm actually going to give you four Lion Brand yarns that I love for the 3 that I told you I didn't like. But the next one is the Big Ice Cream Skeins. Ice cream scoop. I think it's called the Big Ice Cream Scoop. But it's a little bit over 1,000 yards, and I think it's at least the ones I've bought in the past have been a 3 weight, and I love to make baby blankets out of it. I just get the colorway that I like, and then I make a baby blanket out of it, and that's all I need, just that one skein of yarn, and it's the perfect amount for a baby blanket. So that is what I ended up with. I made actually a few baby blankets out of that yarn. There is, I'll link it up above, but I made a granny square, a small granny square blanket with the Big Ice Cream Scoop. I don't think they have the colorway that I'm showing there, but the granny squares themselves are the Big Ice Cream Scoop, and then I trimmed it in white. So I'll link that up above for the first tutorial in the series. And then I have also made, I'll put a picture in here, but I made a star, and it's variegated colors, so they're not really ombre, so if the colors tend to be variegated. But I made a 12-point star blanket, and one of my favorite, the ones I'm making for my mom, is a 12-point star ridged blanket. But I'll put the picture here, and I made that for my nephew, who just turned about a year old. Oh my god, so cute. Anyway, so I have that's another one that I really love to use. And then finally, the whole Mandala yarn line. I love the Mandala yarn line. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I pronounce it Mandala. And I love the whole line. So they've got a bunch of different types out there as far as weights, whether there's like something sparkly in it, a twist, all that stuff. I love them all. So I love the Mandala line, and in fact, I'm making a blanket for me with Mandala Twist, I believe it's called. It's kind of a tweedy look. Maybe it's Mandala Tweed. I don't even remember anymore. But I really I really like that yarn. I like that whole line. So those are, and I'll link some of them down below in case you're interested in checking them out. But those are the yarns that I love from Lion Brand. So didn't want to leave it on a sour note. I love Lion Brand as a brand. There's just a few of their lines that I cannot like. I tried time and time again, but I just cannot bring myself to like them. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? Do you love those lines of yarn? Are there certain lines of yarn from Lion Brand that I didn't even talk about that you either love or hate? Let me know down below. I love to get into the conversation. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It really, really helps me out. It gets this video out to other people who like this kind of content. And if you like all things yarn and crochet, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell so that you're reminded each time I come out with a brand new video. While you are down there, join the Yarn Hookers Discord. I know you guys know about the Yarn Hookers, don't you? If you don't, we meet every Saturday night, 5 p.m. either at Ginger, the Yarn Geeks place, or over at my place, which those are both linked down below as well. And we chat things all about yarn, crochet, and we include some knits. It's not all just crochet like I am, because you know, Ginger's bi-stitchual. And we have started a Discord channel, so go down below, check that out. I am starting a Discord channel as well. I just have not got it linked yet because I need to set it up the way that I think it should be set up, but I will be linking that shortly. Again, thank you guys so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.